Yo, 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 yo. Oh, that's why I don't hear shit. Yo, 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 yo. Don't need that. Don't need that. What is going on with that? What is
Hey Cole,
going on? Yo.
I might start taking your side with this Joe shit. This clearing the air, it makes sense. Maul really, Maul really took up with Rory and really like sided with this nigga wholeheartedly.
That's what I'm
I
saying,
fuck
bruh.
with this.
That's what I'm saying, bruh. Checking. 1, 2, 1, 2. My, if y'all still here, appreciate y'all tuning in. Nobody's in here right now, but I am currently live. Oh, I am the only viewer. Let me give myself a like, cause if you don't like your shit, who will? You feel me? Actually, I'ma share this. Let me see. Y'all want to see me share this? Cause I can do that now. Ooh, ooh. Now that y'all see me do that, y'all can come back and see my beautiful face. I'm almost ready to start this thing up. I'm gonna give some people a few seconds to come in live. Not too many more seconds, just long enough for me to finish rolling. Hope everybody's doing alright. It's almost springtime, y'all. Actually, it is springtime. It's almost summertime. Why you playing? But speaking of summertime, shit is really heating up. Well, it's been heating up for a while. But I think we finally discovering where all this tension coming from. Speaking of, I don't really have a structure to this. Let me turn my vibes down a little bit. Do I want to change my vibes? Hold up. Not that one. Is it this one? Yeah, I like this one. We're gonna turn that up. Yo, yo, yo. All right. So, start this thing off right. You are now tuned in into another Cold Logic experience. What is Cold Logic experience, you ask? Well, just y'all finna experience the way I see things going on in the world around us. Everybody got a platform. Everybody got a reason why they want to talk. Some people just talking. Some people trying to get somewhere from the conversations they having. Me, I'm the latter. And speaking of conversations we're gonna have, let's talk about. Dang, I don't know which one I want to start with. Well, if you see the title, I wonder if y'all figured out that we are gonna be discussing, cause it say the revenge of the Blerds and the homies. The revenge of the Blerds and the homies. Now, who are the Blerds? If you black and been on Facebook, you probably know what a blurred is. Some of y'all probably don't even understand what I'm trying to say right now. But blurred, BLERD. Now, that sounds a lot like nerd, right? Well, you guessed it. A blurred is a black nerd. Yep. They couldn't come up with another word to significant to articulate a black person doing things that nerds do. They just went with the nerd thing and added BL on it, like we do a lot of stuff. Well, like I said, a blurred is a black nerd. If you're on Facebook, there's a blurred group where you get all the latest news on mostly comic book, anime stuff. Sometimes they'll have like it's good discussions about society and engineering and nerd stuff. It's not to disparage them in any way, cause I low-key I might consider myself a blurred in some sorts of ways. Very computer savvy. Very try to stay knowledgeable. Very intuitive, engineering, educated enough, and can have an open conversation without having to fight, you know? And all those might not have anything to do with a nerd, but that's just my interpretation of it. I might turn my tunes down. But yeah, so the nerds I is explained, just explained. They aren't specifically the Blerds that I will be discussing today. Um, if you are familiar with the territory of YouTube University, then you might have come across a faction of Blerds that congregate around the idea of the red pill community. There's a lot of other names for this community. You got damn, what did I say? The red pill community. My bad, y'all. But you also got the manosphere. Now, the red pill community, if you do not know, is a play on the idea of we are all in the matrix currently. And you know, when Lawrence Fishburne or damn, what was the nigga name in the Matrix? Morpheus. Morpheus hands Neo the two pills, the blue pill and the red pill, if you do remember correctly. He handed him the blue pill and said, "You take this pill, you'll continue to live life like you know it, like you've been doing. You won't know anything about it. You probably stay happy, but it's gonna be harder for you to navigate in the world. With the red pill, you got the knowledge of everything, but with the knowledge of everything comes the responsibility of taking care of the people without the knowledge and all that other stuff." It might not have been quite like that, but we just gonna go off the knowledge base currently. Just knowing everything about the Matrix. So they played on that, and they talk about how we are currently in a gynocentric system of society, to where, and if you don't know what gynocentric means, it's kind of obvious from the wording, but let me break it down for you. Gyno has things to do with the vaginal insides of women. So when they say gynocentric, we're mostly dedicating. Well, see, when they explain it, they just talk about how women are centered. The decisions men make are centered around what women want versus what society needs to propel itself to a better place. So you got things like divorce rates working in women's favor. You got marriages working in women's favor because of divorce. You got a lot of people pandering, a lot of men pandering, not telling women the truth to avoid having to deal with the consequences of that, whatever that may be. You know, they actually have an acronym for the consequences for calling out women. It is called sign language. Now, I'm not sure who started this acronym, but I do know that Mr. Kevin Samuels references it a lot. And the only reason I know the definition of this is because I listen to him. Sign language is shame, insult, guilt, and the need to be right. These are apparently the 4 tactics that women use to disparage men and absolve themselves from accountability. And dang, now I forgot where I was going with that. But yeah, I was just trying to give y'all a little synopsis on a couple things in the red pill community There is also a bunch of these guys. If you want to go check out their content, I guess I'll give them a shout out. Like I said, Kevin Samuels is in the. These are all, I forgot to tell y'all. There's a white manosphere and a black manosphere. Manosphere, get it? Man, revolve around sphere, revolve around what men want, stuff like that. Yeah, yeah. So there's a white manosphere and a black manosphere. Some other noticeable people in the white manosphere are Rolo Tomasi. He's actually known for his verbiage regarding the red pill space or the man space or the alpha. I don't know what they call it. Different people call it different things. But Rolo Tomasi basically wrote a book to give verbiage and language to the discussions that men were having regarding how they basically get finessed from women, and they don't like it. Um, Rolo Tomasi is basically the articulator. You got somebody that don't even like him, but he white. Is 21 Studios. Then he has like a whole 21 convention for that stuff. But the reason he don't like Rolo is because he feel like he may talk about the subject as if he were interacting with a bunch of women to get this knowledge base, but he gets his knowledge base from the the point of view of men that have been treated badly by these women. So, and he said, and Rolo, I think Rolo may validate his points just because he feel like if you were to talk to women, they wouldn't admit to a lot of the truths or a lot of the actions, the behavior actions, and the the unbalance of the power dynamic in those relationships. They probably wouldn't admit to it. So because the men have been dealt with by those women, he feels like their side is more valid. Similar to how when, how can I say this? When women get done wrong by the niggas that don't have no intentions of being with them outside of their pussies, excuse me, um, that they are said that all men are wrong now because that top section of men that may or may not be finessing women um, because they have been treated wrongly by them, that all men are like that. And I would say, if that were true, there wouldn't be these niggas in the red pill community getting finessed. So I don't know who making who bitter, but it's affecting both of the bitterness of women and the bitterness of men. It sounds like a tangent, but I'm just giving y'all more information before we get into the discussion, just so when I start talking, y'all can understand a little bit about what I'm talking about. What is some more information on this red pill? They have they're very knowledgeable when it comes to statistics. So most of their arguments are based on statistics. Now, of course, they get some from the CDC and all the other stuff, and they honestly know that Of course, it's not gonna be 100% accurate because I mean, no poll is, no stats are because people just don't fill them out. I mean, like, are people in third world countries really filling out the census? No. But somehow we know. But anyway, that was a tangent. Now, I just told you Rolo, 21. There's Troy Francis. There's Richard Sterling, which is a former porn star. There's the Tate brothers, which I just learned were mixed. Who else is white? In the white sphere, there's this Asian guy that I forgot the name of. Yeah, y'all can see how much I'm not invested in that. Then there's the black manosphere. The black manosphere, you got dozens, triplet. Oh my God, there's so many niggas. I can't keep up no more. But I'm gonna just name the ones that I've been privy to enough to that their content is at least entertaining enough to listen to their whole conversation. There's Donovan Sharp, and I think he kind of want to be in the white manosphere, if you ask me, because he don't really rock with the black dudes like that, unless they the black dudes that be like, oh, we fuck with the other races, but if they like niggas, I feel like I'm gonna have to explain what I mean when I say niggas, but y'all can go back to the first episode for that if y'all was on the podcast. But now we on the video, on the YouTube. We doing big things, you know what I'm saying? I don't know why I got this cap on. Like I ain't just getting my hair retwisted. Yeah. My bad. So yeah, the black manosphere. I just had to point out Donovan Sharp first because he kind of white manosphere. He just black. Because he got a white wife too, which he been trying to hide. Fishy. So yeah. Black manosphere. You got O'Shea Duke Jackson, pioneering the game. You got mediocre see, this nigga name will get you like that. Mediocre tutorials and reviews. And I feel like the only reason why this nigga can say it fast is because he low-key got a lisp, but he from New York, so you can't really hear it if you don't really hear it. But that nigga like, mediocre tutorials and reviews. See, I can't even say it that fast. I had to slow down. But anyway, him. You got the crowd favorite, Alpha Male Strategies. You got Kevin Samuels. You got Fresh and Fit. You got, who else you got? You got Jada Black. You got Darius M. A bunch of these niggas. Austin something. Coach Greg Adams. I can just go for it. Matter of fact, I'm gonna show you some of these niggas, man. I'm gonna show y'all some of these so y'all can know what y'all looking at. Poor Man's Podcast. That's this guy. He got a limp eye. You'll know it's him. You got this Coach Greg Adams guy. You got Alpha Male Strategies here. Six the Goddess. We're gonna talk about her later. There's also a women's push for the manosphere. She part of that. Who else? Oh, Tahir and Tasha. I would like to say those two are in the manosphere, but they just a YouTube couple. But a lot of their content is based off the content that's in the black manosphere. Who else? The Lapeef Let's Talk show. that's probably just the show too, but a lot of this stuff is based off what's in the black manosphere. Of course, it looks like I just be following these niggas. BGS, Black Pill Gnostic. He has 2 channels. One that he does rants on. One that he does rants on. One that he does live streams on. Then you got the business or Jason Black. He got the business channel and the Black Authority. Now, Jason Black is not a part of the red pill community or the black manosphere. Jason Black would probably fight you with words if he ever heard you associate him with them. But I will say that Jason Black has been in the YouTube space for over 15 years, just talking about race in general. That's where the Black Authority channel comes from. But yeah, he not part of the black manosphere. But the reason I brought him up is because a lot of the rhetoric he talks about, you can hear copied and flipped in the black manosphere when they talk about stuff. But that's pretty much it for that. Let me go back to me. Oh shit, that's not the right screen. Oh, this nigga. But yeah, so these niggas, these are the Blerds I'm talking about. Now, some of these niggas are not nerds at all or Blerds. But a lot of them would admit to you that they grew up simping. And now, and they not only did they grow up simping, they believe that the men that got majority of the women were doing the women wrong for some type of reason. They weren't treating women right, stuff like that. Where I was going with this? Oh yeah, a lot of them grew up that way, so they are going to have like a little different views about how to treat women now, because they feel like they have found a revelation that women don't respect men anymore unless you can buy them, basically. So they've banded together to teach men the game. Now you like, dang, niggas needed somebody to teach them the game? Where they do that at? And I'm gonna be honest with you. It's not easy out here to learn the game raised around a lot of women. Why, you ask? Well, the reason it's not that easy because you get influences while you grow. You know the saying, monkey see, monkey do. You know, a lot of times adults try to pull you with the do as I say, not as I do, because they feel like they know better, but they already fucked up, so they feel like they're not gonna lose anything from continuing to exhibit this behavior. But they want to protect you from exhibiting this behavior so that you will stay pure. Things like that. They went along with the Disney fairy tales to overplease women. They bought into the R&B, love songs. I'm hurting cause you let me go. Don't leave me into the road. I fucked up. Can I have you back? All these things are perpetuating their brain. And you know you're gonna hear that type of music around women. Not only that, you might start exhibiting their behaviors as far as how you talk to people, the way you retaliate to confrontation, how you respond to dominance, the types of shows you watch. It's all. I mean, life is just programming, right? So like you gonna absorb what you're around, and if ain't no man around, well, and all the men you see are the type of images I explained just now, then how do we find sight in learning what a man actually is supposed to be? Well, there's also the flip side to the simp perpetuation. The flip side may be the side I just named. Those guys maybe like single parent homes. They built like a type of resentment to their parents, whichever one. It might be their mother, it might be the father, depending on who grew up with what. But yeah, that. Then you got the two parent home simps who they are they're taught to. It's kind of like the same type of media perpetuations, but a little different because you learn from the men in the two parent home to cater to a woman, but you don't really always get the story of how that woman earned that type of fascination, the type of love, the type of protection. Like, because you just watch TV, you see a beautiful girl, and all the dudes like her, but the one dude get her, and he feel like she the prize, and she don't really ever contribute to his life. He just trying to contribute to hers. And if he falls short of something, he might not be good enough, or he have to do a little extra pandering to get by, to keep her happy. Just different things. Those guys, like, sometimes they protect women at all costs. Sometimes they may see someone talking. They might see a man talking to a woman, having their conversation, and they could be into a heated debate. But because a woman and the man know each other, they understand that it's only gonna get to a certain point. But because the man is so keen to seeing women protected, that he jumps in and it's not even that serious. Or maybe defends a woman in a relationship with an abusive man that she is refusing to leave, or different things. It's hard to think about because you don't really find them as simps so much until they get older and they tired of chasing women. But yeah, those are the Blerds. They might be sheltered. The 2-parent niggas, they might be sheltered. I don't have a script, so I'm just thinking, talking through it, you know. Hopefully I'm making a little sense to y'all. But after that, where am I going with this? So that's the black manosphere. And those are the type of niggas you gonna come across. They usually talking about holding women accountable and men accountable. They usually but it's a lot of men trying to, because of the way men think women see us as just warrior workers that want to they need to get the bag out of to be the protecting provider, but we shouldn't demand much of them. Those type of people, they try to hold them people accountable. They try to hold the men accountable that aren't trying to attain that type of wealth or doing what they need to do to not be broke. It kind of gives off like a selling content vibe because they identify with the people that they are talking to. But because you can just talk on YouTube for free and get a lot of views depending on your interaction with the people, how you talk and set up your conversation, and all this other stuff, you get ad money. It might not be a lot, but you know, it's another set of income, basically. So, but a lot of people have said this stuff has helped them. Friend of the podcast, actually. I'm not gonna lie. It's exposed me to a lot of things to identify with as I navigate through the dating marketplace. That's another thing. Everything with this is logical, but their logic is fueled by the emotional trauma that they've been subjected to because of how society just perpetuates what they call the centricity. That's a word. Yeah, so those are the other class. But recently, your man Kevin Samuels has been blowing up all over the nets. I'm talking. So he been on YouTube for about 3 years, maybe. He started out telling man how to dress better, have style, what type of suits and stuff to wear, how to get money, how to have confidence. He started with all that stuff. Then he started doing live streams for people that was maybe like disputing him, and then he figured out a way to like communicate with them in a way to where he can give them advice, or if they challenge his advice, he can have a debate with them live and basically use your life versus his life as validity to his judgments. So that being said, after a while, he says he started noticing that the men that were actually using his content and it had been becoming a benefit to them, that they were starting to say, well, man, I'm out here in this world doing better. I thought that my status, my style, my fitness, my financial, I thought it was gonna help, but I don't know. It's not. I I'm getting a lot of girls, but I'm at this point in my life where I done got all this cash, and I need something to do with it, and I need to maximize my opportunities. And being single, that's kind of a hard thing to do, because they started noticing the people that they started competing with once they got to that level. They got two incomes coming in now. They got one person, maybe came from, maybe the guy that's asking for this advice is a baby daddy and leveled up. But now he want a wife to help take care of what he just built. That's niggas be having troubles. So so he started challenging the women on what they were doing as far as dating. Because, I mean, let's be real. Not a lot of people are satisfied with the dating market this right now. Yeah. A lot of people aren't satisfied with the dating market right now. But Kevin Samuels feels like he spent 3 years addressing the men. Now he found time to address the women. Now, men addressing women, that's already, let's be honest. You in women's business if you're addressing a woman. Some people will call you a bitch. Excuse my French. Which kind of perpetuates their reason to argue, though the manosphere's reason to argue. The fact that dang, I just lost my train of thought real quick. Hold up. The fact that the women, the men are, he feels like the men are leveling up, and that the women aren't out there in mass, or if they are, they don't really respect the men that are approaching them, these men specifically. They feel like it validates their reason to voice these expressions out loud on mainstream. Well, not mainstream. It's still on YouTube. They are having a goal to get to the mainstream, We gonna see how that works. Um, but yeah, Kevin Samuels has been blowing up, and I'm gonna be honest. A lot of women are coming at him. A lot of women are coming to learn. A lot of women are coming to learn, but aren't being honest. Of course, you be on camera, and it kind of turn into a therapy session sometimes, and it can get real serious, or it can get real belligerent. But Kevin Samuels, I do notice that he matches the energy that comes at him. And and recently he's been getting a lot of gripe about it. Now, oh, now I remember. Yeah, because you're addressing women, that's getting in women's business, and then men feel like that's more reason to address the women because they're not respecting the men and nobody's listening. That's how they feel. But yeah, Kevin Samuels matching the energy that is given to him. A lot of people come on there looking for advice, looking to congratulate him or thank him or show appreciation and gratitude. Some are coming to challenge his views. A lot of people are challenging his views but don't really have the fortitude to keep it going. And not only do they not have the fortitude to keep it going, but he also has control of the mute button. And honestly, man, I need a mute button in my life, bruh. Bruh. The mute button? Not even just for women, but the mute button? Nigga, I control this narrative. Nah, no. Your boy, he be wildin'. But yeah. He come back with the energy that he get, which has been giving him a lot of grief. I mean, not a grief, but flack lately. Because, now, let me tell you the cold logic. Let me tell you why I think it is. Because he matches the energy he gives, and I'm gonna explain that. That's what I was getting. I'm gonna explain that he matching the energy he gives. By that I mean women that come on there, they challenge him. If they challenge him, they usually maybe exaggerate a story to make them seem good. They might say things like you're wrong because not all women are like that. They might they might say something sarcastic when he's trying to have an honest conversation. They might come on there and try to control his platform. They might, like, when I say control his platform, meaning like he, of course, if you on a car or radio show, just say a radio. It's not a radio show, but just say you call in a radio show. And somebody calls in and just start dissing you, like sneak dissing you, then like start dissing you for real, and then not only dissing you, but when you start talking, when they ask you a question, but when you start talking and they don't like what you about to say, they start talking over you to tell you you're wrong, to not even finish your sentence. Just did those type of things, and him matching that energy because he matches that energy, he's viewed as effeminate. Um, Sometimes it's harsh. Sometimes it's sassy. Sometimes it get nasty. A lot of the callers are pretty pleasant, but he kind of doesn't take those calls because he wants to address the problems people have, I think. But it's also shock value in addressing all the people with the problems because they don't know how to act. And that's another reason he's getting flack. But before I go into that, people not knowing how to act, he's getting a lot of flack because, excuse me guys, there was somebody at the gate. But yeah, he's getting a lot of flack because he's matching the energy that women give him, and before he has these little disrespectful things to belittle the women that try to come at him. So because those things are very harsh to hear or to tell women, and women are pretty much coddled and enabled nowadays, it comes off bad. It really does. It really does. And it looks bad on him because it just looked like he being catty and petty with women. And because he's able to do it, people just see him as feminine. And he's getting a lot of flack for that. And he's getting a lot of flack because he's taking it. It comes off as him taking. I'm not gonna say he is, cause who am I to say what he's doing? But it comes off as him taking advantage of the shock value of the people that's having problems and want to refute him or challenge him for views and just a bigger audience and just stuff like that. You get all the men that either don't got women or can't get women, or got women and got finessed. All those type of men in the audience donating to him. So I don't see him not doing that, but he's getting a lot of flack for that. Belittling the women, especially, and taking advantage of them that don't know how to act. And at this point, I think he may need to do like 2 months just focusing on men. But his excuse for not doing that is saying that that men get enough flack in the world from everybody. Women, white men, white women, police, jail, jobs, all that shit. I ain't made a decision on whether or not I agree with that, but that's what he getting. That's his excuse, basically. That's the whole manosphere excuse, honestly. But in his defense, devil's advocate now, they do volunteer to call. They say participants waive the rights to their privacy on the screen when you call. So what? I mean, to be honest, that's the American way, ain't it? Ain't it? Ain't that what the government do? Ain't that what the police do? Ain't that what the media promote? So, can you say he wrong? Or can you say he just doing what everybody else doing? I don't know. But recently, your boy DJ Envy done called your man out. Do I got that recording? Let me see if I can find that recording. It was real quick, so I might play it if I find it. Somebody called on the Breakfast Club. They had the call-in donkey of the day. And they called in. They was like they want to get a donkey of the day to Kevin Samuels. And he basically was like, man, that's a bitch ass nigga. radio version though. Hold on, let me see if I can find it. Excuse me. I can't. Let me see. I'm trying to find it when it's just them two. Let me see. I'll watch this. Oh yeah, that's it. Hold up. Hold on. Let me see. Alright. Let me see.
There's no games right now. Let's get into this. DJ MV took shots at Kevin Samuels, tried to expose him, call him out on the radio, go in on him randomly. Let's listen to what DJ MV has to say.
Y'all can't hear it. I can't hear
Hi, this is Karen. I'm from Ohio.
Oh boy, Karen. Another Karen on the line.
Oh, I'm not one of them kind.
I'm just messing with you, Karen. Go ahead. Who you want to give donkey to?
I want to give my donkey to Kevin Samuels. Can I tell you why?
Woo.
I think that he opened and their insecurities that have been given to them in previous relationships and their naiveness. And come on, he gave Saweetie a 6. Dr. Umar spoke on him on all that. He deserves donkey of the day.
Yeah, I think he's lame. I do think he's lame. I mean, what age are we where we're rating women and rating people? I mean, he's a grown-ass man. He's 50 years old. But the thing I don't understand is...
who are you? That's the thing.
But the thing is, which I don't understand is, why do women keep going to him?
What?
Like, that's what I don't understand.
Like I said, he plays on their insecurities that they've been given in previous relationships and their naiveness.
Yeah, because he looks about...
It seems like he hates women. I don't know.
Yeah, it does. I mean, he used to hang around the Hermes store and try to get clientele. It's, just to try to get people. And he used to wear, dress up and stand outside the stores and try to talk to people. I've seen him actually a couple times. It's funny. But in Atlanta. But I mean, I don't know why women
What?
still
Hey,
go to him.
back
Yeah.
up, back up. He said hang out outside the Hermes
Yeah, he
store.
used to try to hang outside the stores to try to get businesses. So he would hang outside the Hermes store and look for, I guess people with a little bit of money and try to talk to him and try to be a stylist or whatever he was trying to do. I seen him out
What?
there once or twice. Yeah, it's kind of crazy.
That's weird.
My salesperson from the Hermes store had to remind me, like, you don't remember him? He was the one that was outside the store. I'm like, that.
I'm not about to play this whole thing. But that's basically, I hope y'all heard that, because I ain't hear shit. But y'all seen the subtitles at least, got it. Y'all know where to find the video, because it's on the screen. But yeah, that's basically what Envy said. And basically coming at my dog. But Envy got a past that I don't think I want to bring up. But he definitely the type of men that Kevin Samuels used against the women that he be taking advantage of on his channel. But also Dr. Umar came at him. And he came at the whole manosphere, basically. He sent a whole lot of shots. Not the tiptoeing in my Jordan. But yeah, he sent a whole lot of shots. He's like basically Kevin Sam. Nah, he didn't even say Kevin Samuel's name. That was the thing. But everybody knew. Everybody knew who he was talking about. What was he said, you black beta male, YouTubian so-called life coaches. I think that was all the verbiage he used. Black beta male, YouTubian so-called life coaches. He said he doesn't like the way they all be taking advantage of the women. They're attacking the women. All this shit. But the black manosphere defense to that is Dr. Umar is a pussy panderer. Black mother queen goddess Shea Moisture. Oh man. Like, it's so funny cause like when Umar dropped that, the whole black manosphere came at him. They came at him so hard that after the black manosphere came at him, they started dropping videos saying protect Kevin at all costs. I'm like, bruh. Now see, that's why I got a problem with these niggas. Because they are saying women don't deserve to be protected. They don't need to be protected. That they could take the jabs that he be taking at them. But because all the niggas are teaming up with the women to come up with this nigga Kevin Samuels, that he needs to be protected. Now that to me is hypocrisy. If the women can take it, this nigga need to shut up. All them niggas need to shut up. But speaking of them niggas, Dr. Umar addressed all them niggas as the dirty dozen. If you heard the niggas I named at the beginning, all of those niggas are probably in the dirty dozen for various reasons, but mostly because of their continual efforts to hold women accountable in the name of black love. That's the verbiage I'm gonna use for that one. I ain't used none of my drops.
Hello, motherfucker.
Damn, that's loud. But yeah, that. Yeah, Dr. Umar, DJ Envy, and the Revenge of the Blerds. Another reason I say they the Blerds, because a lot of them do like corporate, computer, science, IT, those type of things. They may have some type of nerdy nuance to them. For example, mediocre tutorials and reviews is a lot of his content is based around, well, not his content, but his behavioral actions align with that of the Prince of Saiyans. Yes, the Prince of Saiyans. Vegeta. Vegeta. I'm gonna tell you how I noticed these nuances. So, before he starts his video, he does this little clap thing. This, and it's like he just went Super Saiyan. And he said, "It's time to get active." But hey, that's his thing. It flows really well. I'm not gonna lie to you. If you didn't watch Dragon Ball Z, you would have no idea that that's where that came from. Because he's like older, talking to younger dudes, you might be able to identify with them with that. So I get it. But I'm gonna laugh at that shit. The Prince of all Saiyans. He even got merch, the MTR merch with the Vegeta on it. This is why I refer to these niggas as the Blerds. Even like Kevin Samuels, he has like different nerdy titches. His laugh, hideous. Hideous. Oh, man. But yeah, a lot of these niggas. This nigga Poor Man's Podcast got the limp eye. And I don't know what's nerdy about that, but it's just it's just crazy. All of these niggas got something. I'm getting tired of talking about these niggas though. But speaking of revenge, this nigga Maul. We gotta talk about these niggas Maul and Rory and Joe. All them niggas. I think it's a beautiful it's a beautiful situation to dissect, to learn from, as far as like business, building businesses with friends, going too far, not communicating enough, perpetuating certain lifestyles, having your whole life in the front of the world as entertainment, having your niggas fuel that by all the it's just beautiful to me to see. Cause if y'all been on the CoLogic experience, excuse me guys, if y'all been on that CoLogic experience, you know the experience for me is just recognizing the power dynamics and the behavioral traits that people display in the different situations that go on. So let me set this up how I want to set this up. So if you've been watching the JPP, I ain't been watching it since the beginning. I've been watching it. I ain't even watching it. I've been listening to it before they even had video. But I've been listening to it maybe 4 years now. Before Spotify, definitely. But yeah, it's been Rory Mal. Even and before Spotify, I wasn't even that interested in it, to be honest. I only watched it when I saw Joe Budden and other things. I went back to his podcast to hear him talk about that shit because it was like a personal lens and shit. Eventually, I got sucked into the Joe Budden rabbit hole. I'll be listening to these niggas all the time now. So if you've been listening to these niggas as long as I've been listening to these niggas, you recognize the different dynamics in the room when they podcast. You got Joe, who is this former rapper nigga that wasn't even highly recognized as a great rapper unless you was on some underground shit. And even them niggas wouldn't even talk about that shit for real. Who's also known for having a lot of bad Spanish chicks as his women. He's also known to be in the reality TV sector, specifically Love and Hip Hop. I feel like he been in all of them. Nah, not all of them. Just LA. Just LA and New York. What else this nigga been on? Couples therapy. A whole bunch of different shit. A socialite, as you will. And he started butting that career as he like got towards the end of his rap career because he wasn't satisfied. Y'all know the history. Slaughterhouse. The only thing you really know him for is Pump It Up. And then he dropped some emotional mixtapes that niggas didn't really hear en masse. So you got that nigga. And that nigga has his engineer, who's been his engineer through his rap career, apparently. And his manager, who basically manages the podcast. And who's the other? Is that Ian? And another nigga, Savon. I forgot what he do. He might help engineer. And then you got Rory and Mal. Now Rory is this younger dude, not really Joe Budden's peer, but somehow they became acquaintances that I don't really know about and don't really care to find out about. But apparently he's a young marketer. Well, he was a young marketer in the industry. Got some artists, apparently, Emotional Oranges. He manages or something, maybe. And then you got and he has apparently has a lot of industry connects, but I've only really heard his industry connect as Justice from LVRN. Yeah, I feel like everybody else he knows from Joe, from what I've seen. But you know, like I said, I ain't listened from the beginning, and I definitely don't care to go back. But also Rory, to me, Rory's role seems to be just another industry, somebody that might be close to the industry that has an idea of what goes on enough to talk about their music podcast, but also give insight on what's going on, maybe get some people on the show. And talk shit about Joe's mistakes along with the audience that critiques him continuously. Like, I feel like majority of Joe's views are niggas that don't even fuck with Joe. Which is hilarious. But then you got the nigga Maul. Apparently Maul been this nigga friend forever. Apparently Maul is Big's brother from Rockefeller. You know, the nigga Jay be talking about all the time. You know, the nigga Kanye rapped about and Big Brother. Yeah, that nigga. Apparently that's his brother. Maul don't really tell much of his personal life. And his opinions are very short, to the point, not really much to say. But I think another of his role, he got industry ties a little bit too, mostly Griselda, from what I know. And what I was about to say? Oh, and he keep Joe in check about the lies he be trying to tell on the podcast. That's mainly his role. So Maul keep Joe in check about the lies he tell. Rory basically is somebody for Joe to go back and forth with about his opinions about the industry. Cause Rory is very PC because he's trying to keep a job or find a job. And Joe is like, man, fuck all this industry shit because I'm about to build my own shit. So that's the dynamics of the show and their relationships from what I see. Just the Cold Logic experience, so y'all gonna get it my way. But anyway, Joe and Rory and Maul have fallen out recently. And like I said, if you've been watching the show since the Spotify deal, even a little bit before that, Joe has been pushing for he's been throwing slights at them to be more involved as creators, more involved in getting content, people to the podcast and stuff like that, and just being more hands-on to his overall empire that he wanted to start and build. And yeah, some examples of him doing that is basically like they'll be talking about something he hot for in the news, maybe like a smear campaign, maybe like some opinion he said about some music, people coming at him, and or just an opinion he have on the podcast about music and what he think versus what they think, and that's basically all they do for the most part. Like, they don't really indulge any mistakes in their personal lives. When Joe tried to talk about the experiences they had that happened a long time ago, they kind of be wary of that. But when Joe they'll talk about Joe's part in that experience. But when they get to them, they're like, yeah, I get it. They might see that nigga as like, you the show, so that's your personal life, nigga. Leave my shit out of it. But I think that might have been a mistake. That might have been a mistake. Cause I guess while what has been revealed is while that was happening, while Joe has been pleading for them to do that on multiple episodes out loud publicly. Most of his gripes and stuff are public. His opinions are public. But that's what makes the show, to be honest. So while he's been expressing his opinion, apparently behind the scenes, these niggas have been inquiring about the books, the money. But like I said, these gripes, I feel like I haven't gone back because I ain't really that invested, but pretty sure these grapes Joe been making have been going back since the Spotify deal. But apparently, since the Spotify deal has ended, these niggas have been inquiring about the cash flow and why they still getting the same cash flow when apparently shit is up and up and up. Now, I think their perception of shit being on the up and up is a little foggy. Cause I ain't gonna say I could have seen this, but everybody know Joe be capping. Why wouldn't they think Joe was capping? But apparently they've been getting the same rate of pay since they've been doing tours before the Spotify show. Now, well, shit. Well, that's what Maul said. But now that I think about it, as I've been listening to the prior past, these niggas have praised this nigga for getting a raise. Shit's not adding up. Shit's not adding up. But yeah. So yeah, these niggas been inquiring about the money because of course they see things leveling up, but they wonder why they levels ain't leveling. And I think their perception of the level up is a little foggy. I wonder if they realize that they are only tied to the Joe Budden podcast, but the up and up is coming from the network in general. And maybe they do know that. Maybe they feel like because the network in general grew from the podcast that they should get part of that. Now, do I agree with that? Hell no. Hell no. Let me tell you why. First off, if I'm the star of the podcast and y'all let it be named after me, because I'm gonna say y'all let it because it was called I'll Name This Podcast Later. And it got changed to the Joe Budden Podcast with Rory and Maul. Now, I don't know how that appears to a lot of niggas, but that look like the Joe Budden Podcast and Friends to me. I'm just saying. So you let this nigga be the star of the show. But not only did you let him be the star of the show, you let him get other podcasts on a network. You let him build a network and get other podcasts on there. And apparently, these niggas ain't helped put the legwork in to get these other podcasts on there. And apparently, Joe even asked them to create their own podcast aside from his. Now, I don't know about y'all, but if you feel like you should get more money, don't you feel like you should be doing the same amount of money? I mean, at least some type of work that the nigga you asking the money from doing to like alleviate his duties. Like, what are you there for besides talking on the mic and criticizing my life? I question that. But it's not my situation, and they might know more than I know. I could be wrong. But this the Cold Logic experience. So, now, what I do fault Joe is he was acting like the big shot. Mr. Big Shot got shot in the fucking foot by itself. apparently this nigga been preaching to them that the business is on the up and up and everything's up and stuck. But apparently it's up and stuck because he funding it. Now, although I fought him for being flashy and shit, I'm not surprised. As a nigga that preaches about him wanting the Rolex and doing everything he had to do to get that Rolex and realizing how much that shit didn't matter, I'm not surprised he wanted to show the flashiness but act like it didn't matter. Because as a leader of that situation, you gotta know that somebody watching and wanting. You flashy, the flash gets in the way. Flash distracts people. It have people pocket watching like, ooh, dang, he getting shit. Why? This nigga got critiqued for wearing a Mary hat. I imagine that hat came with something that came from a Mary, but you know, niggas gotta make their funnies. But you know what's funny? Oh man, I got a lot of tangents in here. I might gotta go back and watch this. You know what's funny? After all this, after they could have easily got more compensation by just adding value to the network and having their own shit aside from Joe's shit so Joe can do his thing. Oh man. You know when your back itch. But yeah. If they created their own page like Joe asked them to, they would have got more cash probably. They would have got the IP of that, so they can own the rights to that. So Joe could just get a percentage off that, and he can license it to people and shit. But guess what they went and did? The shit Joe asked them to do. They literally went and did the shit Joe asked them to do and created the Roy and Mal show. Yes. I'm about to show y'all. Hold up. I'm about to show y'all, man. Hold on. I'm trying to see which one of these niggas posted it. Damn, where did I see that shit? Appreciate y'all for staying here and listening to me all this time, by the way. Definitely. Oh, I found it. It's definitely on Mal's Insta. Let me show y'all, B. Let me show y'all. Y'all see this shit, man? Lou, Rory, and Mal. Y'all see this shit, man? Now, why they ain't just do that when Joe asked them to do that? I don't get it. Do y'all get it? I don't get it. Do y'all get it? I don't get it. Do y'all get it? Nah. But it is what it is, man. It is what it is. They just didn't want to be in the shadows no more. Right. I see it. I see it. I see it. But I think it's a beautiful situation, just so everybody learn from. I think Joe learned that if you're gonna get in business with friends, it's best to be completely honest with all financials in the start. Whether or not they ask, it's I think it's better to put your friends in a position to hurt you, so you'll know if they're your friends or not. That's just me though. That's the cold logic way. And of course they gonna hurt you. Some might hurt you. But you see how they respond to what they did to you and how you reacted to that. It's all you could do. For real. It's also a beautiful thing for Rory and Ma or anybody that's coming in as a contract worker for a startup, and maybe your business, the person you get in business with, they might not be honest about the money. They might I don't know, they might get contracts for you, but just send you a portion of the contract for the information they want you to know. They might I don't know, even in the trucking business, people don't show rate cons, so you won't know what percentage you're supposed to get off the thing. You just gotta trust that person. And of course, since you're more knowledgeable about what, as a broker, since you're more knowledgeable about the fees that the averages that people mostly get, you can kind of fudge what you offer to the driver, and they just trust you because they get more than they usually get, you know? I mean, maybe you need to approach the situation when you get hired, be like, hey, man, I don't work for nobody that's not transparent, so if you're not showing certain documents, that's not what we doing. That's not what I gotta go somewhere else, man. I'd rather work where I got benefits than try to be an independent contractor for you and risk my life, and I'm not even getting paid what I'm worth, you know? What else is beautiful about this situation? It's beautiful. I thought, because I don't think people understand the value that Joe has as when it comes to how he's exposed his life as a former rapper, as a person that wanted to get out of rap and do something else, as a person that has exposed his relationships with women on the net, as a person who, like, I think that's just a person that indulges his opinion about things, which he doesn't do a lot anymore because of the society we live in today. People just not really accepting to hearing criticism that aren't caked and battered and put icing on, you know? All that shit. So, but I think that's a beautiful thing, and I'm gonna tell you why. Because oh man, I'm gonna sound like the Blerds that I was talking about in the beginning. The Blerds, man, they got a point. They got a point. It's not a lot of black male spaces where you hear men be honest about their mistakes. Be honest with how they came out of their mistakes and leveled up, how they became competitive in their fields after they failed so many times. Being honest about how it's not going to be easy. Being honest about how the fortitude it takes to keep going. Just the realization that you just average and you got the opportunity to do better, but you ain't gonna do better doing what you're doing. Like just stuff like that. And that's why I value Joe, because not a lot of black men in media generally give it up as honestly as he would when he talking about himself in a bad light. If he talk about what's good about him, he might be capping a little bit. But yeah. Yeah, and also I think was a beautiful confrontation was how Maul just switched up on Joe just because Rory told this nigga he wasn't getting what he was worth. But Joe, because I feel like because Joe was so hurt seeing the black dude that he came up with side with this young white dude and then got lawyers involved and didn't even come to me about his gripes, you know? I feel like because Joe was so hurt of that nigga went ham on Maul in the fucking on the podcast. Which was funny because they wasn't even gonna post it. They posted it publicly on accident and it was up for like 5 minutes. They took it down, put it on the Patreon. Bruh, the niggas that had it that 5 minutes, they did the fucking diagnostic report, found the URL for that specific recording, and leaked it on Twitter. Can we get a round of applause from Twitter? I mean, where my yay at? I don't even, hold on. Where my yay at? Bruh, Twitter always comes through. If you need a link, if you need an OnlyFans drop, shit. Bruh, it's enough OnlyFans content on Twitter for you to never, ever need to ever pay for the niggas OnlyFans. You just watch straight samples. There's enough, bruh. Twitter, the news comes from Twitter. Bruh. Twitter is literally the grapevine. But it ain't black though, so it's not the grapevine. That's why it's Twitter. Because birds be chirping, telling all the news. I don't know why I still got this up. I really don't know why I'm still talking, to be honest. But I definitely appreciate y'all listening to the Cold Logic Experience. How I break down these power dynamics the way I see it. Yeah. And Rory, oh man. I knew the white was like, Rory got racist white tendencies and he uses them as punchlines on the podcast. It never rubbed me the right way. And I always wondered why he was able to go unchecked by it, but now I understand it's because it was just a matter of time before he exposed himself. To be honest. Parks be back there chilling. He might giggle at a Rory racist comment, you know, but they Rory racist comments. And a lot of Roy's jokes be on some personal. I'm white and I ain't got privilege. Like he jokes at all those type of shits. Typical white boy. I've been around black people jokes, you know. But yeah, you're gonna tune into a Cold Logic experience. If you enjoyed the podcast, give me a like, give me a share, give me a subscribe. All those things are free. But you know it's not free? If you notice the ticker scrolling across the bottom of my screen right now, hold up. It's coming back. Don't worry about it. It's coming back. On the ticker, you will see the Cash App, $Cole 1212, and the Venmo at UniverCole. Yes, sir. If you appreciate anything, if you want to donate, let me see where my donations button. Hold up, I'm coming. If you want to donate, hit up the Cash App and the Venmo. Also, if you wanna get in contact with me on any other of my links, all my socials, that scrolling across the ticker as well is my URL. It's like a link tree, but it's better. It's better. It's a solo link. solo.to/Cole 1212. Wait. I said that wrong. solo.to/ColeLogicX. You know, for the Cold Logic X experience. My bad, man. My bad. I was reading and trying to remember at the same time. You know how that be. Yeah. With that being said, what's on there? Oh yeah, what's on my solo link? My socials, if you want to get in contact with me. If you want to get some type of inquiry about graphic designs, yes, I made the graphic designs on the videos. Haha. If you want any of that, if you want tutorials on how to make your videos up to par with mine, if you want any type of advice, man, any type of advice, first you gotta give me a like, share, subscribe. And then just hit me up, bro. Just hit me up. I got you. Now, you're tuned down to the Cold Logic experience. And now, you about to be tuned out, player. If y'all hear a nigga in the background, y'all know Flight can't stay quiet.
I'm a fuck with you.
Alright, bro.